Who says they don't have pizza in Venice? I just got off the airplane, took Delta Airlines over, and I'm right here at the restaurant location, and we're going faster. So everything is good. What else can we ask for? Oh, great.
But we're not staying here, right?
Yes.
We are staying.
Yeah.
The Dolomites, UNESCO World Heritage.
This is the Hotel Margherita where we're staying today. And we were supposed to be taking a walk around in the Dolomites, And Tatiana said it might be raining later in the afternoon, so we're not sure because if it rains, then
But, they use no preservatives in the prosciutto?
Yeah, but so that's I guess.
No, yes, I was saying no. It's the only ones that it's only cured. I mean, it's only the curing process and the salt. That's it. They don't put anything.
I mean, you say the salt is actually different?
No. Salt is part of the curing system.
Yeah, right. But it's not a different type of salt, say in Parma.
Oh no, I don't think so.
Yeah,
no,
okay.
no, I mean I don't know, but I don't.
Well, they make a lot of cookbooks make a great difference about the different types of salt they're using now. Like I have a cousin who's a graduate of a culinary school, and for example, I have to go now. We're having a class on salts. We're having a salt tasting. Now, can I ever tell the difference between a salt? I don't really think I do that.
What were you saying about the Yeli where they're located? Because the prosciutto does have a smell to it, right? And the processing of creating prosciutto.
Yeah, because
they hang them for a long time.
Yeah, it depends. They have different periods of hanging, but the important thing is where it is produced. So we are in the middle of the region. San Daniele is in the real middle of the region, north part of Udine area, and you have the fresh air coming from the Alps, and the salty air coming from the sea. So it's a special microclimate, thank you, that made this prosciutto so special.
So how does that affect the animal or the curing process?
No, I would say both, because the animals are Italian. They must come from Italy. They cannot come from other parts of the world. They have to be Italian, and they are from the central north area of Italy. So they arrive in Friuli, Venezia Giulia, and so afterwards there is the curing. So both
Just when you said
factors.
the air and the, I just wondered how that got into the process.
The air.
The air.
Well, they open the windows
so
every night in order to have these air. The process is that. So.
Okay. Grazie. I'm usually like the last person. Okay, because I have to video. All right, and soon I'm going to pay attention. Because this is wild. Onwards. Okay, I'm going to stop videotaping. And we're going to go high, and we're going to stop with the beautiful Linda. Okay, oh, we can go up. All right, so we're now. We were back here, and now we are getting closer. And we're going to climb up to the hut. This is a perfect walk. Look at those logs. But I remember, so we met Tatiana and her community in her area at the Italy. There was an event, and we go to the video. We're going to give a link to that.
Yeah.
And don't I remember that in the Dolomites you have these huts and people can go from one to the other to the other?
Yeah.
And is it like skiing? Do they have? No, it's just hiking and.
Yeah, exactly. Trekking, hiking paths, where you can see the cheese production. They are open during summer, so they just move all cows close to in the hut, and they produce cheese. But you can also eat if you go trekking, hiking. You go there. You have a glass of wine, a beer, or a cup of coffee, or you can also eat something.
Peroni. So, Peroni Red was what Paul Newman liked. Used to go to my friend Melampo's, had a little place on Sullivan Street, downtown in Manhattan, and he made the greatest hero. Why are these signs on this wall? Do you know?
There are some poems, you see.
Friends of the area?
Yeah, or people who died here.
Okay. A memorial.
Memorials. Exactly.
Okay. There's definitely a fascination with the mountains, as there's a fascination with the water and with the land overall in general, and life.
All the way from the USA.
Yeah,
Good.
both coasts.
Ah, okay. Okay, wonderful. So, yeah, as Linda, as Linda said, so I'm Annalisa. I'm a guide of the region Friuli Venezia Giulia, which is a very peculiar region actually, because it's made of two very different territories. So today we're going to visit Udine, so we are in Friuli. Sometimes when I have Italian groups, I ask them, where are we now? In the Julian March or in Friuli? And you know, there's always a lot of confusion about it. So half will say we're in the Julian March, the other half will say we're in Friuli. So you see, not even Italians know exactly what Friuli and what Venezia Giulia are, but after this visit to our region, I'm sure you'll have very clear ideas about it. So I think we can start with one of the most interesting parts of the city, which is the main square. So we're going to Piazza Libertà.
But the name Julia was something from Frulia. It's from Caesar?
Yeah, it's from his family, from the Julia family. Yeah, and also Friuli actually, because the name Friuli derives from Forum Iuli, which was the market of Julius Caesar, and that's today Cividale. So the name then became the name of the region. So you see, the gens Julia, this very important Roman family, is contained in both the names of the region. So,
Grazie.
you're welcome.
Facciamo una foto di inizio giornata.
She's going to do a selfie. This woman's unbelievable. I'm going to do a selfie of her selfie. I'm not going to do a selfie. What am I going to do? I'm just going to do Marcia. This is interesting.
Okay, push them all together. Come on. Ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't believe me.
It'll be a lot.
Even without car, maybe. This is just the beginning. Yeah.
Well, this place is it's as famous, this city here, the downtown. Yes, no?
Not as it should be.
Oh.
Not as famous as it should be. And we will also
We'll fix
see...
that. We'll fix that.
By the end of today, will be
Good, good. I'm glad.
stampede here.
You know, for example, also Tiepolo, everybody goes to Venice to admire Tiepolo's masterworks, but we have a lot also here in the years.
You okay with me videotaping? I'm taping.
Yeah, no.
You okay?
Try and
Okay.
stay out of the video. But
Okay, I was going to ask.
Don't change.
Anybody?
Don't adjust what you're doing, but just, I mean, I'll just try.
Okay, does anybody mind being in? Because, you know, the video?
I'm going to take a lot of video later.
Okay. I just want
Any of you
to
with
make
criminal
sure.
records, so to jump on
Is everybody okay with being in video? If I get you in the video, just to let you know. Okay.
Just don't tag me.
I don't know how to tag.
Oh, yeah, you're
No.
not.
No, I know how to. I've been doing this. It's my 20th anniversary.
Of the city began. It began on this hill behind me. So tradition has it was built by Attila's soldiers. Attila, the scourge of God, had conquered Aquileia, which was the largest Roman city in the 5th century, and he had plundered it and destroyed it. So he wanted to see it burn from up there. So he told his soldiers, you know, to form a hill with soil carried in their helms. And that's the legend. Actually, this is a moraine. And, you know, the first news we have about Udine, the first document, dates back to the year 983. And there was just a fortification on the hill. And later, the city became a real city when the Bishop of Aquileia, the Patriarch, decided to move his residence from Cividale to Udine, which will cause a very long rivalry between the two cities. So what you see up there is the castle built in the 16th century by the Venetians, because the story of Udine starts with the patriarchs, but then Venice conquered the territory of the Patriarchate, and Udine has been Venetian for a very long time. And I think you can tell, because the architecture is undoubtedly Venetian. This palace, you know, well, it's a lot like the Palace of the Doge in Venice. I'm sure you've all been to Venice, because I know you Americans have been everywhere. You put us all Europeans to shame, because, you know, I have some American friends and they've really been everywhere. So you see, now what we see is also a clock tower, which reminds us a lot of Venice, a lot of lions. They are a symbol of the city, the winged lions. But you see, all that you see on this side was built in the 16th century, because unluckily this is also an area which is subject to earthquakes. So all the ancient buildings built by the patriarchs in the Middle Ages have been destroyed by an earthquake that took place in 1511. So, you know, what we have was built later, but in a very Venetian style.
What is this building called?
So this building was the City Hall. Yeah, then a larger City Hall was built just behind it. So today it's used just for representative.
And for weddings.
And for weddings, yeah. Which is very important. But you see, this has been rebuilt because it was destroyed by a fire in 1876. So it's been rebuilt, you know, with the original parts, but something has been replaced too, because it wasn't possible to rebuild it exactly as it was. So the clock tower up there has two metal figures. You see two also in Trieste. They have two different meanings. I mean, here, of course, they are a little bit like the Moors on San Marco Square. That's the inspiration source. But, you know, in this case, they are called the Italian and the German. While in Trieste, you have Mikets and Jakets, and they are two Slovenians. So you see, in Trieste, there's a very important Slovenian minority living in the province, in the city. Also in the province of Udine, there's a Slovenian minority, but it doesn't play such a big role here in the city. You know, they are concentrated on the eastern border. So you see, that's one of the many differences, but our region is an autonomous region, because in our region we speak officially 4 languages. So Italian, of course, Friulan, Slovenian, and German in the north. So we have to guarantee everybody a right to their culture, to their language, and that's why, you know, we are an autonomous region, which means, of course, a lot for the good, you know.
So can you get the driver's license test besides Italian and German? Can you get it in Slovenian here?
No, no. Usually, you know, you do it in Italian. But if you find, you know, driving school on the cars where people speak Slovenian, then it's not a problem.
It's not a problem.
You can, yeah, you can speak
because they
Slovenian.
stopped letting people get it in English. And so I'm looking for a new region. I'm looking for a region where I can take the test in English. So
That's gonna
I'm
be
asking.
That's gonna be hard.
So.
But not impossible. Not impossible.
I'm going to find a region.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure
You can now. It's German, French, and Italian. But I would think if you've got this heavy presence of two other cultures, they'd make an exception.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They do. And I also wanted to show you the only original lion that's on the clock tower, and that's the only Venetian lion that's still there, because in 1797 Napoleon put an end to Venetian rule and he destroyed all the lions he could find. But that lion had been covered by a brick wall, so they couldn't see it, and it was spared. The lion up there was actually remade on the Columna Magna, that's the big column, and also the lion on that beautiful arch. That beautiful arch is Andrea Palladio. In 1556 he came to Udine and he, you know, he drew that arch, and a rich man from Udine saw it, and he saw Palladio and asked him to draw up also his new palace here in town. So we have another palace that was drawn up by Palladio. And the fountain, I'm sure you've already photographed it. That's a fountain by Giovanni da Udine. He was a pupil of Raphael. So we see other fountains that he designed, and also the castle was finished by him. The castle on top of the hill.
Who are these two fellows?
Oh yeah, that's another story. You know, they were actually two statues that belonged to a palace, not on a square not far from here. And that palace was the palace of the family della Torre. One of its members, Lucio della Torre, was put to trial by Venice, and he was sentenced to death. As a punishment, his palace was torn down. That happened quite, you know, often back then. But the two statues, they were put here as, you know, warning to the people. So you see what happens if you disobey Venice, if you know, try to betray us. Because he was killed actually by Venice, he was sentenced to death, probably because he was loyal to the Habsburgs, who were the arch enemies of Venice. So you see, later, when Austria conquered this region, so after the Napoleonic Wars, they gave the statues back to the family della Torre, but the family della Torre said, no thank you, no thank you. They're going to be an eternal present to the city, and you can see the writing in Latin, munus aeternus, that means eternal present. No, you can enjoy them as long as you want. Good, so the loggia is also a beautiful example of Renaissance style here in Udine. And in the middle there's a church. So that was a church. Today it's a war memorial because, of course, World War I in particular was fought not far from here. So, you know, we have a lot of monuments about World War I. Good, so...
Just one question.
Sorry.
I was gonna. So I don't know. I thought that sundial is Medici. Am I wrong, or what? Is that? I mean, we have a famous TV show called CBS Sunday Morning. They use that design, and when I was in Venice, in the Medici area, I have that, took home with me. What is the symbolism of that? Do you know?
You mean
the sundial? Yeah. Is there any?
Well, that's not really a sundial. That's a clock.
It's a clock, right?
Yeah.
But is there anything behind that design?
No, I wouldn't say so.
No?
So the sun, that's a symbol that you can find a lot in the Renaissance. It was used very, very often. So it could be that the architect had seen it in Florence, Giovanni da Udine, who drew up this clock.
Florence, right,
he worked in Rome, he worked in Florence, he was with Raphael. He was someone who, had been a bit everywhere, so can be that he was inspired by what he saw in Florence. Why not?
Grazie.
I wanted to take you.
Okay. Your name is?
Marcia Bortolin.
What does peace mean to you?
Harmony, happiness, the possibility of express yourself without being persecuted.
Okay.
Respect towards people and population. And, no need to be angry, mad, aggravated against everybody, against the world. That is peace.
All right, I love you. Thank you so much, Marcy.
Thank you.
This cool little place.
Sì, guarda, sì.
Let's see.
Sì, no, alla fine della stagione io sempre ho i calcoli, adesso questa è la novità, perché lo stesso, ci sono tensione, quindi vabbè,
International Day of Peace.
The International Day of Peace. I do remember in Montreal exploring the Queen Elizabeth Fairmont Hotel, where they have the John and Yoko Give Peace a Chance suite, and it's pretty amazing. And it was, I think, a 3-day bed-in, and now the suite is open, and people have parties there. Oftentimes people don't spend the night; they have really actual parties. It's pretty amazing. So there you have it.
There you
John
go.
was talking peace, 1970.
Well, we were saying, give peace a chance.
That's it.
Sherry Whiting De Masi. At this point in time, with everything going on in the world, peace to me means being in my house on a little dirt road in Umbria, listening to the birds sing and watching my olive trees burst into flower. And that to me is the ultimate of peace in 2018.
Thank you. Thank you. Grazie.
Prego.
My name is Gary Singh, and to answer that question, I would say that peace always comes from within. You know, if you don't have, you will never have outer peace if you don't have peace inside. And just a moment ago, we walked past a small little canal, and there was a swan floating down the canal all by himself, or herself, I don't know if it's a him or her, and it was just so peaceful, and swans are kind of like that, you know. I have a deep relationship with swans, you know, somehow. But to repeat myself, I'll just say that peace within is what you really need. You will never have outer peace without inner peace.
Okay, thank you very much. Cooking classes in Italy. Scendere to Sir. Lions.
Hello, Paul.
Hello, hi Tatiana.
How are you? I'm fine.
Good.
You?
Good. Everything's good. Yeah. Okay? Okay. Wow. Sweet.
Piacere, sono per me.
Ah, piacere.
Vuole lasciare anche il resto delle borse?
No, devo portare con me, c'è tutta la mia vita di questi giorni qua. Non posso privarmi.
Se vuole le sa con Dio
Esiste. Here we are. This is, there's someone miss?
Not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, we are all.
Then I can just so this is one historical view. Restaurant, yeah, pretty good. You'll see the landscaping. Fantastic. We'll try to have our lunch outside, but we hope to. Otherwise, we'll be indoors. And
But we have enough. We were enough lucky with the weather.
yes.
It's cool. It's not.
Oh, it's very
Perfect.
Look at Seattle weather.
in Italy, we just touch our nose to be lucky.
No, because the forecast is always tragic.
Well, the forecast is always tragic.
It's true. Because you're pointing to see them.
How old is Julie?
Now they will explain us, but we can get it to work.